there was one guy who like w we went to like a dialysis center and this guy coded and I got my medic brain going, so I'm thinking about 50 things and like I look over at the monitor and the guy's like in asystole. I couldn't get that sentence out. So I just like turned the monitor and I'm like, that's asystole. He's like, good job, medic student. What do we do now? And I was like, oh shit, uh, help.
Gotta get a grip or get a hold of myself.
Welcome to Last Known Vitals. My name is John Smith, and today I'm sitting down with my friend Alberto Oyola. He's been a medic for about 5 months now, and I'm excited to learn about what medic school in 2025 is like. Alberto, how the hell are you, man?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. Had better days, had worse days. Just going
Hell
through it,
yeah.
man. Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So I understand you had some orientation today. You just started a new job?
Right, it was day one of orientation. And just like every other job, dude, it's the whole bullshit like, hey, this is the company, this is the history of the company, this is who we used to be, and this is who we are now. This is who we want to be.
Oh, that's brutal. That is absolutely brutal. I hope you brought like a nice large coffee, settle right in, get comfortable. Oh,
It
I
was a rough
definitely
one,
don't.
man.
Yeah, I bet. How many more days do you have? Um,
So I think we were supposed to go for the next 4 days, but private EMS, man. He was like, you're gonna go for the next 3 days, and yeah, don't even worry about the fourth day. We'll wrap everything up in 3 days.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that personally. Like, get me on the streets. Like, sitting in the classroom is just torturous to me. Absolutely. That's exciting though. So you just finished medic school. What's it like having your life back finally?
It was crazy at first, man. Like that initial like whoosh of like all the free time you have now, I was like, what was I doing before medic school? What did I do with all my free time? Now I'm kind of just sitting there and I'm like, I feel like I should either be at work or learning something. Kind of throws me off still to this day, but like just I don't know how I got through it, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like I had a lot of panic moments following school. I've just been like, oh shit, I feel like I have this test or this to do, or I feel like I should be studying. Like my schedule was just totally dialed into medic school or nursing school for me recently, that on those days I felt very off, and it really fucked with me. You know what I mean?
Right, man, I look at my calendar app now on my phone and I'm just like, shit, man, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. Like I don't know what to do. I'm like sitting on a couch eating ice cream with the dogs, just bullshitting, and I'm like, I something feels off about it.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So let's talk about medic school. How was that for you? Like for me, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was brutal. It was a grind, but at the end of the day, it was a good experience, and I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. What was medic school like for you in 2025?
So initially getting into medic school, everybody was telling me, don't fucking do it, man. If like don't do it, it's a bad idea.
Yep.
The class before me got slammed, man. Like they went through like five instructors, and I was like, man, can't be that bad. Like not every class is gonna be that bad. So I enrolled anyway, thinking like, nah, man, I'm just built different. I'm gonna get through it.
Hell yeah.
Um, it hit so damn fast. After that first month of like, this is the history of a paramedic. This is what paramedics are supposed to do. Looking at a new fancy scope of practice, they jumped right into it. And it was, I would say, almost as bad as like jumping into EMT school, where like you don't really have the knowledge of like emergency medicine. And now it's like you just got the grasp of what emergency medicine is. And now you have everything under your disposal. It's like you no longer just get to be the guy who goes, "Hey, that's wrong. I know how to fix that." You now have to be the guy who's like, "I know what that is, but it could also be this. It could also be that. Maybe that. I don't know. We'll all figure it out together."
It's so funny that you said that about the having the different instructor thing. So we went through that and I was on the verge of quitting. And then this guy came in and I won't name drop because, just for anonymity. But this guy was the shit. Like when I say he absolutely saved the day for our program and just wow, I wish I could just say let me say thank you to him. If he gets to see this episode somehow, some way, thank you, sir. You absolutely saved the program, made me a great medic. Well, allowed me the opportunity to become a good medic. Let me say it like that. But no, so you mentioned the getting slammed all of a sudden after that first week, and I want to talk about the EMT thing, but let's focus on the medic school right now. So I agree. That first month, you kind of settle in, you get to know some of your classmates, maybe get to know the hopeful instructor for your case and mine in itself. We're not that case, but anywho, we'll move on from that. But that all of a sudden, boom, and it just a left hook out of nowhere, and it's such a punch in the face, and all of a sudden, I feel like a lot of us become very overwhelmed, and it's not a unique feeling. You're definitely not alone in it. But that initial feeling, what did you do to kind of get past that initial blow?
Um, Honestly, it all came down to the classmates, man. Like it really is like you guys are going through this shit together. It's really what it boils down to. It's like everybody's you kind of hit a spot where you're like, damn, I'm dumb. Am I the only person feeling this way? Luckily, all 13 of us hit it off real fast. We had group chats. We would go out to lunch together. We would hang out on the weekends, like, I mean, when we had time. But it
Right.
was, I really got to give it to those other 12 classmates. That and I had a smart medic tell me, they were like, hey, man, you don't have to be a slave to medic school. Like, when you have free time, enjoy your time, man. If not, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You're gonna burn out like 3 months in, and you're just gonna be another medic school failure.
Oh, hell yeah. That's very good advice. I think finding time for yourself is so important in those moments because it's a grind and you want to dedicate as much time as you can to this learning process, but family, your mental health, like that has to have some time in there for sure. And I'm glad that you actually listened to that medic and found that time. So you had 13 or 12 other classmates. Did you start with 12 or being 13 including yourself? Did you start with 13 and did you finish with 13?
So we started with 13. All
Okay.
13 of us graduated. All 13 got licensed, dude.
Hell yeah,
It
dude. That's
was
amazing.
one of my favorite things about medic school was nobody got left behind. Obviously, there were weeks where everybody was like, man, fuck this medic stuff. This isn't for me. I'm just gonna go be a construction worker. And like they would hit the group chat and be like, hey, like, I don't know, man, I'm just really struggling. And it wasn't even so much as like encouragement as it was tough love. Everybody was like, hell no, if I don't get to quit, you don't get to quit, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. No, keep going. And like with that being said, that group, that core fundamental, right? Like that, oh, I can't that was such a big part for me because there were many times that I wanted to quit and that group was huge. How did you guys like help each other out more so? Like did you like you said you kind of encourage each other and you were saying if I don't get to quit, you don't get to quit, but like that only goes so far, right? Like did you guys do like study groups and things like that?
So not really. Like I know it's gonna sound
Okay.
par for the course, but like everybody thinks their class is special, right? I
Sure.
really did think my class was special. Like we were all pretty smart. We all had enough time under our belts that we knew what we were doing as like basic providers, and now it was just more like learning the steps, the algorithms, and all that stuff to like continue care. And like I said, man, it wasn't a whole lot of like hand holding and like being nice to each other. It was a lot of tough love. And yeah, we blew off some steam on the weekends. Like it wasn't a whole lot of like, hey man, chapter 13, like, did you get this part? It was like, no, man, we were going out, grabbing pizza, grabbing some drinks, getting matching tattoos, like really just taking that time to just be like, hey, we don't want to talk anything about medic school. Like, let's just blow off some steam and then we'll just all hit the books when we get back home.
All right. I kind of applaud that. You separated it from, work and play. Hold on though. Definitely can't let that one go. Matching tattoos? Please enlighten me,
Yeah,
sir.
so like a couple of us, so I have the little like Roman numeral 13 because we
Yeah.
started with 13.
Oh, hell
All
yeah.
of us graduated. A few of us got matching shark tattoos. As they talked me into it, man, and like I was,
No, you
you know,
sure
I
they
was
did. Right.
I was looking to blow off some steam. I even got like one dumber tattoo I might regret when I'm a little older.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounded like a good idea at the time. They were like, "Hey, like $20 for a lip tattoo," and I was like, "20 sold, man. Like,
Oh,
here's my
man.
card."
I don't even know that I wanna ask what that lip tattoo is. A part of me does, but a part of me doesn't.
Yeah, it was
Uh, I'll
3
I'll
little
I'll
letters, and I'm pretty sure most people can figure out what it means. It has a little
yeah.
tie to EMS.
Alright.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Alright, we'll leave it there, we'll leave it there. That's awesome. So, getting into medic school for me, I remember having to do, like, an entrance exam, and I vaguely remembered it was a long time ago. What did you have to do to get into medic school?
So, getting into medic school, you have to fill out the application.
Sure.
The
Thank you.
requirements, they were kind of flimsy on it, man. Like, it was, it was
Okay,
like, "We want 2 years of experience," and it was like, pretty much they
good.
wanted 2 years of holding a license. Like, they just wanted one research to see if you were still had skin in the game. But, you had to sit down, and it was kinda nerve-wracking because 'cause you're sitting there with the clinical director, the program director, and the med control, and they're just kinda rifling questions at you. They're like, "What do you wanna do with, like, your paramedic? Like, why are you getting it?" A lot of it seemed like a trip up question, like they were trying to see if you were really into EMS or if you were doing it for a pay bump, but truthfully, at the end of the day, they just wanted to make sure, like, you were in it for a reason that was gonna, like, bring you to the end of the program. They just didn't want you to get into it and then just flop out in, like, 4 months.
Was there any kind of entrance exam that you had to take?
I don't remember an entrance exam. I know there was, like, a competency exam that we took, like, week 1 of school. They were like, "Hey, let's just see, like, where you guys are at," and the crazy thing is, like, they had, like, a EMT competency exam, an AEMT competency exam, but they'd never had, like, a kinda interface, like, PB or, like, PA exam, which kinda really threw me off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the school that you went to, we happen to go to the same school. Let's put some context to this for anyone who's actually listening. You had EMT basics and advanced in the same class. Now, when I went through it, it was intermediates. uh, so, with that being said, I can see why they would have the different exams just for competency to see where you were at as an individual. But I feel like with medic school, they kind of have to start from the beginning. And even with that advanced training that the A's come to the table with, you still have to start at square one because there are basics in there. And that's one thing that I did appreciate, even being an intermediate. I appreciated that the fact that they started from square one and built on that for medic school all over again, as if we were all basics. It was a nice refresher, I felt like, as an advanced or as an intermediate, I should say. Do you feel like the A's had a better understanding of medic school, or do you guys feel like it was kind of comparable?
Definitely towards the beginning, like, that first, like, 3 months where you're just kinda learning how a medic moves, like, it's not so much a linear thing anymore. It's a whole lot of table tennis, man. You're going back and forth. Maybe what you tried worked out, maybe it didn't. Now you're back to square one. The A's definitely had a leg up on us as far as what they were doing and when they were doing it. Because it was no longer just, I guess it got more towards like you have your introduction, your assessment, your interventions. When it came to that intervention section, they were a lot faster than the basics and they just knew when they were supposed to do what. But come come month 5 or 6, man, we were all lost in the shit together. We were barely hanging on.
That's funny. How long were you a basic before medic school?
6 years.
6 years. What do you think is the minimum a basic should be before going through medic school?
Um, I would I might catch some crap for this, but, like, I honestly think a good 2 years, and I'm talking a good hardcore 6 months of, like, transfer after transfer after transfer. Like, you should almost not get exhausted with transfers, but start to get to the point where you catch things before you start reading them and, like, your nursing notes. And then a good year to a year and a half of doing 911 in a busy system. Because I went from doing transfers for almost a year and a half to going to Lowell, Mass on a 911 truck, and I just when I tell you it was humbling, and then a little after that, like, I'm in medic school, and I move over towards a rural EMS, and I got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, man. I'm like, "Man, 3 years in a busy system, like, this is I might catch shit for this too, but, like, I used to call it a pig farm in town. I was like, "What's this pig farm in town gotta offer me?" And I got dragged through the mud for 3 months, man. I was like, "I I still have the patient for another 30 minutes, man.
Oh
What am I
yeah.
supposed to do with them?"
Yeah, yeah. It's a totally different world in the rural EMS. Yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad you got that humbling moment. That's good. We all need that every now and again, you know? Need to knock down off that ledge.
It just kinda hurt being in the middle of medic school after being in a busy system, and then that was my humbling moment.
Yeah, we've all had them. I've had plenty of them myself for sure. So let's talk about your EMT career for a little bit because I do happen to know about it, and I think it's unique because we have interesting perspectives. You worked in a system that was double basic that responded to calls and had double medic intercepts in a tiered system. And when I was there, I was a medic in the sister system to that. So I never got that experience. So I want to know what your perspective was from being on the BLS side and having the ALS intercept. Was it a good experience? Was it, mediocre? Talk to me about that.
It was a lot of pressure, man. I'm not gonna lie, running a double basic truck and then having 2 medics come flying in on a, medic intercept vehicle, it was like you had to be on top of your game. The biggest thing I noticed was, this private EMS that I worked for, they did have a truck that was PB. It was a medic and a basic. Being on that truck and seeing just all that weight come down on the medic's shoulders seemed like it put a lot of stress on him, and it seemed like it almost slowed the, like, continuation of care. But having 2 medics show up to a scene, and we're the transporting vehicle, being the basic in the back, I'd see them just, like, bouncing ideas off of each other. Everything just seemed to go a lot smoother. There wasn't as much pressure. One of them was able to do, like, interventions while one of them's looking at the big picture, and I think that was the best thing for a medic is to have a seasoned medic partner and be able to take a step back and be like, "Shit, man, I got wrapped up in, like, IVs and EKGs, like, what's the big picture?"
I think that's a great point. That was the same exact system that we worked in. And, my partner, it would be like I would be teching the call. So I would be in charge of patient care, so to speak. My partner would do like the history, find out like what the story is, get any medications, things like that, and then we would convene and come up with a plan. And it was amazing having that partner at the same level to be able to bounce shit off of, especially as a newer medic. I was really really fortunate and got hired into the sister service in Lawrence. And when I was a newer medic, and when I say like I didn't know shit, I really didn't, and I was very very fortunate to have some seasoned medics to kind of hold my hand and be my safety net, if you will. Like they wouldn't let you drown. They would let you swallow a little bit of water, but they really made sure that the patient got the right care and helped let you grow as a new medic. Because as a new medic, man, it's fucking terrifying. Like it really is. Like you come out of school,
Yeah.
that's great. Like you don't know shit yet, right? You just passed the test. And I think the fact that you recognize that is huge. I wish that more systems were set up and designed to have that double medic system, and unfortunately, many of them don't. A lot of places don't even have medics, so having a double medic, I think is it's a luxury if you ask me.
Without a doubt, man, just being able to have somebody who's thinking on the same wavelength you are and just being able to be like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking, and having a seasoned medic, I need a little bit of tough love. I need somebody who's gonna be a little mean, because then I'm gonna grasp the point a lot faster. So if I'm like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking," they're like, "Yeah, no, man, no, that's a stupid idea." I'd be like, "Well, I was completely off. So, can you sit front row, and I'm gonna take a step back and realize why I thought what I thought was dumb for a second?"
Yeah, I would have some partners that would just look at me with that silence. It would eat right through me. They would just, "Really? What give why don't you rethink of that for a minute?" And you're just like, "Oh shit," you start sweating yourself. It's everyone's looking at you, you know? Oh man, I those are some good times. Some good times,
Like
bro.
like I said, man, I need that tough love, and, like, I split my medic ride time between 2 spots, and the first spot was, like, pretty prestigious, they were known as, like, the boys with the big toys,
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, and then the
I
other
have a
one was,
feeling
like,
I think I know who you're talking about, but we'll leave it at that. But but they fucking know their shit though, you know?
they do, and they're smooth, man, and then I went and did the second half of my ride time with, like, the private EMS company up here, and, like, yeah, that first spot, they knew what they were doing, but they also had all of, like, the nice equipment. They
Mhm.
had more hands than I've ever seen on an EMS call, and then they were still kind of, like, nice to me on calls. But when I got to private EMS, man, there was one guy who, like, w we went to, like, a dialysis center, and this guy coded, and, I got my medic brain going, so I'm thinking about 50 things, and, like, I look over at the monitor, and the guy's like in asystole. I couldn't get that sentence out. So I just like turned the monitor, and I'm like, that's asystole. He's like, good job, medic student. What do we do now? And I was like, oh shit, uh, help.
Call ALS, call ALS. Oh man, that's fun though. We all have those moments, like but again, that's why it's nice having like the double medic partner. What did you enjoy more, your ride time or your hospital time?
Oh man, they were very different.
Yes.
Thankfully, a little bit about my background, so it was
Yeah.
nice being able to like do my clinical time where I was working, and it made for a real easy transition. Everybody called me for everything, and then when it got to the ride time, I was kind of pushed out of the nest. Like I had to go deal with people I've never dealt with before, and be in my head, be like, "Hey, they probably think I'm dumb," but like both of them were just so insanely different. Like during your clinical time, you're really just fortifying what you've learned in the books. You're going over all the text that you've read, all the notes you've written down, and then once you hit the ambulance, like there's a massive oh shit moment that you're like, this is going to be my job. So like I appreciated both of them in like different aspects, but if if I had to be honest, I had a lot more fun on my ride time.
Yeah, and I think the ride time is unique in itself because you're really learning how to be a medic at that point. But I think the time in the hospital was like really skills focused. And yeah, so one thing I want to kind of talk a little bit about is doing clinical time where you work or where people and things like that. And a lot of people will stray against that or recommend against it and put yourself out there, all that stuff. If I'm in a learning environment, like I want to be as comfortable as I can with people I know that are gonna push me, but also not let me drown. They want to teach me. I feel like there's that relationship so that I don't have to waste time on that component to it. So I personally, I kind of recommend doing it if in a place that you either already work or people that because I feel like you're just gonna be able to focus a lot more on the learning and the education. And that goes for both the ride time and the clinical time. What do you think of that?
It's funny, man, I have the complete opposite opinion. Like
Interesting.
I didn't get to do my ride time where I was working at the time on the ambulance. So I had to do it with another company, and just not having my hand held per se, Like, they for, like I don't wanna sound mean, but, like, they didn't really give a shit if I, like, succeeded or if I failed. Like, I was just another medic student at that company. So, like, them letting me fall on my face was good for me because that embarrassment really made sure, like, I wasn't gonna fuck up like that again. I it it was nice to just have somebody really, like, push me from behind and just be like, "Hey, you wanna be a medic? Go be a medic, big dog. Like, this is what you signed up for." Versus I feel like if I was where I was working, doing my ride time, they would've kind of tried to be nice to me and, like, they would have been able to pick up on the mannerisms when I'm a little uncomfortable and tried to, like, swoop in a lot faster versus where I didn't work, where they were like, "It's your show, man. Like, my paycheck stays the same whether you mess up this call or not, man."
Right? Shoulda get off the pot. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all, and it's a valid point, and I love the counterpoint to that, and like the two perspectives. It's amazing because I did do time with people I didn't know, and you're 100% right.
I think it was nice because it was, like, my first reality check. Because like, up until then, you feel like a big boy, right? Like, you're just doing, like, the lower end of medic things where you're continuously learning, but yeah, maybe you get a skill or 2 here. Maybe you get to, like, surprise a nurse with you knowing a fact that she asked. It isn't until you hit that ride time with people that, like, then, like, you're not part of my family, so, like, you either sink or swim, that hits you with that first, like, medic reality check where it's like, "Oh, I don't know shit. I felt like hot shit before this moment. I definitely need to go back, study harder, and try and be better."
Yeah, no, you're not wrong though. I mean, you are 100% right in those gut check moments. Again, I think it's very important in the growth of your career. Even after doing it for, 13 years now for me, give or take, I still get put in my place and I still love those moments because getting humbled is just there's something magical about it. And is for as long as you're in medicine, if you can't always be willing to learn and be willing to say, "Hey, I'm wrong," or whatever, however you want to word it, then it's time for you to find something else to go do, right? Like hang your shirt up, go do something else because there's just no room in medicine for that. So I don't know. I love getting humbled. I don't, it's good.
I I agree, man. I think the 2 best teachers in life are pain and embarrassment. Like, if something really fucking hurts you, you're not gonna do it again. But if something really embarrasses you, you're gonna avoid making that same mistake next time.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, so one thing I just remembered, FizzDap. Did you guys still use FizzDap during school?
What the hell is FizzDap?
Oh, you didn't? Okay, cool, cool. What did you guys use for a charting system then for medic school? Because we had this thing called FizzDap, and we had to like input like the patients that we saw, the IV sticks, the medications, etc., and do like all that stuff. What did you guys use nowadays?
Man, we had this piece of shit software called Platinum Planner.
Oh
It
boy.
was the worst thing ever. Because it was like if you were only doing a skill, you didn't have to put in a narrative. But if you were doing, like, even an evaluation that you didn't do any skills, you had to put in a narrative. So it would come up and it would be like the sex of the person, the age, what's wrong with them, and it just had the craziest things, and, like, 99% of my patients went in as, like, sick person or other, and then it would be like, "Well, what was the pathology?" And I was like, "I don't know, man." Like, I met them for, like, 4 minutes and did, like, an eval, like, I'm not it was kinda towards the tail end of, like, my hospital ED shift, and then the narratives were just never good enough, man. Like, it wasn't until, like, I got to that first medic ride spot that somebody, like, introduced me to, like, the little acronym D chart, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that made my life a lot easier." I got a lot less narratives kicked back to me after that
Were the narratives kicked back from your instructor?
from the clinical program director or the clinical director.
Oh, okay. Did you guys have like a big binder as well, or was it all strictly online?
No, no, man. We're all online, man. You went to school like 15 years ago, man. We're in the age of technology now.
We we had our fucking Bible, bro. It was, yay thick or something. And that thing that was your that was your Bible. Like, you could not let that shit out of your sight because without that, you didn't graduate. And we still had to do like a little bit online. And again, it was just a big pain in the ass for the FizzDAP. This was early on with the technology, apparently. But that binder was everything, man. You had to handwrite every little thing you did. Oh, man. You guys got lucky.
We got very lucky, man. I always forget like how much longer you are a medic than me. Like I've been doing it like a few months now. You've been doing it like 60 times longer than I have. And I always feel like you tell me stories about like when you went to medic school and I'm like,
Ah,
damn man, that sounds fucking horrendous to have to carry around a binder and like a pencil and like be like, hey, can you sign this for me, please?
a pencil, because that's so outdated, man. Jesus Christ. Oh man.
So if you want to go down this road, I got a couple questions for you, man. They're
Oh
not
boy.
medical at all.
Oh
I
boy.
know
Here
you're
we go.
doing your medical thing on like the whiteboards and all that. This is more a little bit about you, man.
Oh boy.
So
Okay,
like,
here we go. Go ahead. What do you got?
what's your biggest gripe with EMS?
My biggest gripe with EMS, I think, would be like the lack of opportunity. I think you have a lot of people that are really knowledgeable, have a lot of experience, a lot of background in providing care to these people, and especially in the community. And it is growing finally. Finally, they're doing the community paramedicine. But I think the lack of utilization of the people within EMS in a broader scope, I think that would be my biggest gripe. Obviously, the money is, the money, but that's getting better. And I will say that's definitely improving right now. You can make a decent wage at it. But yeah, I think that would be the biggest gripe that I have in EMS.
It's a pretty good answer. One thing I've
All right.
I've been hearing is blowing up is like the community like paramedic thing. I heard that maybe like 6, 7 times today in my orientation. I still don't know what it is. I don't understand like what their scope would look like. I think it'd be pretty cool if you got somebody on here who is doing the community paramedic thing. Because right now it just seems like that's kind of the fucking unicorn of the EMS world.
Yeah, I'm actually working on that right now. It's just
No.
scheduling conflicts and things like that. But I am very excited about the community paramedicine. I wish I also knew more. I also am kind of sitting here in the dark a little bit. I feel like it's similar to the VNA, just sitting on the outside, being very ignorant to it. So I'm curious to learn more about that. But I love the idea.
Uh, Last question, man. Kind of feel ashamed asking this question. We've known each other for like almost 5, 6 years at this point. I don't know if you know that.
Wow, yeah, it has been a while. Time flies,
Yeah.
man. Time flies.
Yes, man.
All right, what do you got?
I don't this just popped into my head today when I was thinking about doing the podcast with you, and I was like, I gotta ask him something personal, man. Like, what the hell were you doing before EMS?
So before EMS, in 2007, I was swinging a hammer.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how far back this goes. Yeah, I
Oh
was working with my
7.
father-in-law doing metal framing and drywall, and my buddy was who I was in a band with became an EMT and was like, "Yo, this is pretty cool. You should check this out." And I was like, "All right, sure." I went and did a ride along and then kind of got into it there. But yeah, that's what I was doing. I was doing metal framing and drywall with my father-in-law. And then the 2007, 2008 housing crash kind of happened. And yeah, I took the EMT course right at the end of that, and the rest is history.
Oh 07, dude. I was a I was a young 11-year-old man just
Yeah, I was
figuring things out.
I got my EMT in 2009 and then my intermediate in 2010. So that's really when I started working, was in 2010. But yeah,
You
yeah, it's
ever
been it's been a while.
you ever miss your ground pounding EMT days?
Not really. And my story is a little different. And I went from an EMT basic and then I went and got my EMT intermediate right away. And I couldn't get a job, and there's a story behind that. We'll talk about that another time. But I started off at a volunteer service because in order to get into a service around here at that time, you had to have some experience. And there was only one other, ambulance service around that it wasn't that good, and it was almost like not good for your career to go with them. So I opted to not. And I went and drove about 45 minutes and volunteered out at one of the towns that offered 911. And they took me on and as a volunteer. And I did that for a good 10 months, give or take, almost a year, I think, somewhere right in there, until I finally met the director of the ambulance service that I wanted to work for. And it all just kind of worked its wonderful timing and yeah, but then I got hired onto the private service and started making money and actually got paid to do this job. So it's an interesting story. There's a little bit more details to it, and one day I'll definitely get into it. But yeah, that's my background.
Real quick, honestly, shout out to the volunteers. I worked in the rural side of EMS, man, and like I know they catch a bad rap for, they're just their volume just isn't there, but like these are guys and girls who are doing it strictly just for the love of the game, man. Like they're either making not much money or no money at all.
Hmm.
And they're just in it purely because honestly, I kind of think they're better people than we are. They're doing it just purely for the love of the game. We're doing it for like money and adrenaline hits.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like the volunteers that are still active today, like it is such a needed component, and I really wish there was a way to compensate. But these small towns, they just don't have the finances to do it. And my I don't have any tolerance for anybody who shits on them. You know what I mean? Like I don't care what they don't know. They're out there trying and they're doing their thing and they truly mean the best for the patient and they're just giving their own free time away from their family to come help when somebody is in need. So like 100% right there with you, bro. Like shout out to them. And I actually want to get back into the volunteer. There's a town that's kind of close to me. I don't know if they would allow me to do it. I'm just outside their service area, but I don't know if they have a lot of medics, so maybe there's some compromise there. We'll see though. But yeah, shout out to the volunteers for sure, man, for sure. All right, I got one final question for you. If you could give advice to somebody who wants to get into EMS right now, like they're fresh out of the gate, they have no prior experience, what would you tell them?
Fucking go for it, man. It's a great career. Like there are so many avenues you can take. There is just so much room for expansion. You're at the end of the day, you're gonna go through all your schoolhouses. You're the best thing about being in the medical field is like you can keep going, man. There is no ceiling for what you can learn. And going through the schoolhouses, you're gonna make money and then stepping up and like your title, you're gonna start to make more money. You're gonna make memories, you're gonna make friends, you're gonna have a damn good time. And at the end of the day, man, like you are doing something good. Like you're not just sitting at home making Etsy cutting boards and just flipping them for dollars. Like you really are out there trying to help somebody in the worst time of their life. It's a damn good career and like I don't regret any of it, man. And I'm very excited to see where this continuation goes.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. Congrats again on becoming a medic, and that is once again solid advice. You've been full of it tonight. I love this. No, it's been fucking awesome talking with you, man. I hope the listeners got some insight into what medic school is like in 2025. So once again, man, thank you so much for sitting down with me, and I'm excited to talk with you in the future, see how your career is going and where you land. So thanks again, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for pinning me, and thanks for a good conversation.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And one last thing, we'll leave it. I know you can't see it because it's blurry, but right back there, brother, is that shield that you gave me. So thank you, sir.
Oh, I keep the disco patch right on the nightstand, man.
Oh, look at us getting all sentimental. All right. All right. We'll stop it right there. Goodbye, everybody.